Hello, everyone. This is group number 1 and 2. Today, we're having a discussion forum. We are going to have a debate on carbon taxation. Group number 1 will go for the motion. Group number 2 will speak against the motion. So, in group 1, we have Amit, Anamika, Yash, and Jyoti. And group 2, we have Annahat, Umida, Andrea, and myself. Now, let's begin.
Okay, so the today, as you said, the today's discussion is carbon taxation. So let me just give a quick, real small definition of it. So it is a policy which is designed to decrease the greenhouse gas emissions by imposing a fee on the carbon content of fossil fuels, and its primary aim is to internalize the external cost which is relevant to the carbon emissions like environmental degradations and public health impacts, making it more expensive to emit the carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. So yeah, let's start the discussion.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today I'm here to speak in favor of carbon taxation in Canada, emphasizing its significant health benefits. By reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, a carbon tax can dramatically improve air quality, which is crucial for public health. Improved air quality, carbon tax can significantly decrease emission of harmful pollutants such as SO2, NOx, particulate matter, and volatile organic compounds. These pollutants are major contributors to smoke and poor air quality, which are linked to various respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. Moreover, with fewer people suffering from pollution related health issues, the burden on our healthcare system will be reduced, which will lower healthcare costs. This result in lower healthcare costs for both individual and the public health system, allowing resources to be allocated to other critical areas. Third, it will reduce environmental toxins. Fossil fuels extraction and release toxins such as mercury and lead into the environment, contaminating water and food supplies. Reducing fossil fuel use can lead to lower levels of these toxins, decreasing the risk of health problems like neurological damage and developmental issues in children. In conclusion, I stand that carbon taxation is mandatory for a better and a healthier Canada.
Thank you, Yash. While my worthy opponent has highlighted some health benefits, we must consider the significant economic consequences of a carbon tax, which is indirectly affecting public health and its well being. Firstly, although improved air quality is a worthy goal, the economic burden a carbon tax places on industries and consumers cannot be overlooked. Studies by the Fraser University or Institute estimates that a carbon tax could lead to the loss of thousands of jobs in oil and gas sector alone. This impact on families and communities reliant on these jobs would be profound. Unemployment and financial stress are closely linked to poor health outcomes, which could negate the health benefits of cleaner air. While lower health costs due to fewer pollution related illnesses are a positive outcome, the immediate economic impact on job losses and higher living costs can place a significant burden to healthcare system in other ways. So it means that in employment and financial stress can lead to increased mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. So if you have depression and anxiety, it will require more substantial healthcare resources. Furthermore, while a carbon tax aims to mitigate climate change related health risks, it is a crucial to ensure a smooth transition that protects jobs and supports those most affected. So, I strongly believe just raising the carbon taxes is not the perfect solution.
I appreciate your points, Yoezer, about the economic consequences, but we must not lose the sight of long-term benefits of improved public health. Healthier populations mean more productive workers, which can offset some economic downsides in the long run. Additionally, investing in clean technologies can create new job opportunities in emerging industries in Canada.
Indeed, long term health benefits are important, but the immediate and severe economic impacts cannot be ignored, yes? The transition needs to be managed carefully to prevent job losses and ensure that low income families are not disappropriately burdened. We can achieve these emission reductions through innovation and efficiency without resorting to carbon tax.
While alternative approaches have merit, As you said, a carbon tax provide a strong immediate incentive to reduce emissions. It sets a clear price on pollution, which can drive rapid change and innovation in a way that voluntary measures may not achieve.
Rapid change is not always sustainable or equitable. We must prioritize a transition that supports all Canadians, especially those most vulnerable to economic disruption. Government led initiatives and incentives for green technology can achieve environmental goals without the harsh economic penalties of a carbon tax.
Thank you, Yoezer. I will discuss another advantage of carbon tax. By adopting a comprehensive carbon tax, Canada can set a global example for effective climate policy. This can encourage other nations to implement simple measures, fostering international cooperation in the fight against climate change. As one of the first major economies to implement such a tax, Canada can showcase the feasibility and benefits of carbon pricing. A proactive stance on climate action can enhance Canada's influence in international negotiation and forums such as the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. By demonstrating leadership, Canada can play a more significant role in shaping global climate agreement and policies. Taking a leadership role on climate action can strengthen Canada's relationship with other countries that prioritize environmental sustainability. This can lead to closer economic and political ties with the European Union, which has implemented its own carbon pricing mechanism, and other like-minded nations. As more countries adopt carbon taxes, global standard for carbon pricing and emissions reduction can emerge. Canada's leadership can help create a more cohesive and effective international framework for addressing climate change, leading to more consistent and higher global standards. By being at the forefront of the transition to a low carbon economy, Canada can attract international investment in green technology and industries. This can spur economic growth and job creation in emerging sectors such as renewable energy, efficiency, and clean technology.
Thank you, Amit, for your points. But I think there are some negative effects of high carbon tax in global leadership because there are some countries, heavily dependent on fossil fuels, and they may view Canada's high carbon tax as a threat to their economic interests, and it will lead to bad diplomatic relations. And moreover, efforts to promote global energy policies may face resistance from these nations. And it will reduce Canada's influence in shaping international energy and environmental agreements. Moreover, if Canada's high carbon tax policies are viewed as too aggressive or economically damaging, and other countries might be less inclined to follow its lead, and it will potentially isolate Canada in international climate negotiations. And moreover, if Canada's carbon tax is seen as economically burdensome, it may lose credibility and influence in international forums such as G7, G20, and UNFCCC. A skeptical attitude about the economic viability of high carbon taxes can undermine Canada's credibility as a leader in climate action, and especially if other nations perceive the harmful policy as unbalanced, and or harmful to economic growth. And if the economic impact of high carbon taxes are severe, Canada's ability to act as a credible and effective leader in global climate policy could be diminished, and it will reduce its influence in international forums. And also, high carbon taxes may discourage investment in innovation and clean technology development if businesses are burdened by excessive regulatory costs. And this could hinder collaborative efforts to address climate change and limit the country's role as a leader in technological innovation and sustainable development. Thank you.
Okay, so now we would like to have further discussion. So I'm going to speak in favor of carbon taxation, and Andrea is going to speak against it. So I would like to say that in terms of economic efficiency, there are market-based solution, and for that carbon taxation, it is a market-based approach, and it helps to incentivize the businesses and individual to decrease the carbon emissions by making it more costly to the pollute. So this can lead to innovations and more efficient energy use. And beside that, carbon tax also provides a stable and predictable source of revenue for governments. And this stability can be used to support the economic policies that manage the inflations, such as targeted subsidies or social programs, in order to reduce the cost of living for the vulnerable populations.
Okay, Judy, I understand your point. I understand how the government can put this money back to the economy, but the real fact here is that the government is taking away the money from the economy. So the circulation of money is reduced, and when that happens, and the aggregate demand is remain, the price is gonna be high. Okay, so you said, of course, you are gonna put the money back with this kind of social program, but we don't know how. But what I know, very, the truth here is the circulation of the money is reduced. Also, the cost of the production is going to increase for so many companies. Companies that use carbon to produce their service or their goods. So when the price go up, the inflation is going to increase, and the direct demand is going to remain. And the the people, they don't have enough money to buy this stuff.
Yes, you might be right. I might agree with your points, but like you said, increase in price. But what I would like to say is that there might be just an initial increase in price. Like it might not have the long-term impact on it, because some studies suggest that the taxes do not necessarily lead to the increasing inflations. There might be short-term inflations where carbon taxation might lead to an immediate increase in price for the carbon-intensive goods and services, not the overall whole economy. Uh, like for example, we can consider gasoline, electricity, and heating. For this, feel like there would be short-term inflations, and like you said. For the overall market and all, what I would like to say is that the government can also implement or introduce the carbon tax gradually. It can introduce it gradually, allowing markets and consumer time to adjust without causing the sudden price spikes.
Okay, I get your point, but 69% of Canadian people said that they are disagree with this taxation, and that's just why. That is because this taxation is going to impact in their life, in their usual life to buy the groceries, all the stuff, because all the price is gonna be increased. Well, I want to ask you something. Shell PLC, Halliburton Petroleum National Bihar, NLG Canada
Yeah.
companies, they are most of the most important companies of oil and gas in Canada, and they represent 10% of the productivity of the economy in this country. So if you put more taxation for them, they are gonna increase the price. And one other negative impact that has this taxation is that the unemployment is going to increase because the cost of the production is going to increase. And when this happens, the way that company has, the easy way that the company have to manage this is reducing the labor. So tell me, what government is going to manage the unemployment?
Yes, okay, so I agree, like there might be unemployment issues and everything. But on that, what I would like to say is, and for the consideration of all those companies, government can just focus on the job creation in terms of green sectors. They can, while like carbon intensive industries might shrink, green sectors like renewable energy, energy efficiency, and electric vehicles, like this field can grow. And it will also help for the creation of a new job, and this also investment in these areas will often result in more labor intensive employment compared to the fossil fuel industries, so there can be shift on that. And beside that, the revenue that the government will collect from all these taxes, it can be recycled, it can be returned to the economy through rebates, subsidies, or tax cut-offs, and also offsetting the potential inflationary impact. Let's consider, for example, example where government can provide a rebates to lower income households, and they can just maintain the purchasing power in a normal way.
Okay, I got your point, and also it's important to see the context in what we are right now, that we have in the green boom of energy transition and all this stuff. But the truth here is that you can you can you can mm, you can manage your you can manage like all this stuff at the same time, because the process to pass the one company to the green transition is gonna get too much time. So all the employment that these companies create is not the same companies won't be able to create the same green jobs, because you need um, education, you need experience, you need so many things that they don't have in that moment. So it's gonna take time to translate this unemployment to a green employment jobs.
Yes, I agree with that. And what, like I said, I would like to repeat that carbon tax can be raised gradually, not just at once for all the business sectors, but government can plan in terms of implementing or raising of the tax gradually in the different sectors. They can do that.
Okay, this is a good option, but I think it's very the taxation right now is enough, is high, and the government already did before. So just take a breath to this company, and okay, let's just move on to see
Yeah,
what else
yeah, we
our
cannot like decide, right? What
yes.
would be the proper, like whether it would be good or bad directly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea and Jyoti, for such a delightful debate. But I would also would add to the arguments which are against carbon tax. I mean, in 2019, the federal carbon pricing was introduced in Canada. I mean, there is no point of introducing a carbon tax when already there is something which is helping in reducing the greenhouse gas emissions in Canada. So, also according to Forbes, Canada's greenhouse gas emissions have already reduced by 8%. So I don't think that there is a point again putting taxes on reducing the same things. So the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions in Canada coincides with the timeline of the carbon pricing implementation. And there are many economists as well who have recognized that decline in these emissions is not solely attributable to this tax. There are many other policies which have been implemented by the Canadian government. And yes, those are also as important as this carbon tax to reduce those emissions. So putting another tax, making another policy is not limited. It's not useful in this case. That's what I feel.
Yeah, Annahat, I agree with your point. But the thing is that carbon pricing through mechanisms like carbon taxes and cap and trade systems increases the cost of fossil fuels by adding a financial burden for each unit of carbon dioxide emitted. And the rise in this cost incentivizes individuals and businesses to reduce their fossil fuel consumption and to save money. But they might do this by investing in energy efficient technologies, switching to renewable energy sources, or implementing conservation measures to use less energy overall. One of the significant advantages of carbon pricing in its flexibility and allowing market participants to choose the most cost effective methods to lower their emissions based on the unique needs and the circumstances. And for the different businesses, this could mean investing in cleaner technologies or optimizing operations, while individuals might opt for energy efficient appliances or renewable energy sources for their homes. Additionally, it can be said that carbon pricing sends a clear market signal that emitting carbon dioxide carries a cost, encouraging long term investments in sustainable technologies and practices. And for this market based approach, it aligns with the economic incentives, with the environmental goals, and promoting innovation and the transition to a lower carbon economy.
Thank you, Namika, for focusing on these points. But what is the point of being sustainable and renewable when you're not able to produce anything? When we are putting carbon taxes, there is an increase in operational cost for the industries. There are so many industries in Canada. I mean, you go out of the university, you see 10 industries in line which are producing stuff. How will they manage the cost of production for that? The taxation is so high. How will they manage producing stuff? So and also if we consider that the if we consider the aspect of competition, imagine there is a country like India where there is no taxation, no carbon tax, there is free government rules. The companies and the industries will definitely profit more. The industries in Canada, they will not be able to grow as much because they have to put their most of their profits or in of the money that they receive in term of revenue in the paying these taxes. So I don't think that it would generate any employment, or it would lead to any production. And also there will be definitely a discouragement of investments by the small business owners. No owner will come into the market industry with the mindset that I have to pay so much of taxes. There are already so much taxation. Licenses are included for taking. Even if you have to put an advertisement, there are taxes. Another tax adding up upon a business owner will only create a burden, which will again upset the economy of the whole country. So adding taxes is not, basically if you add a tax for renewable resources, it's not justifiable because the production also has to take place at the same time. And in Canada, there are many regions which have high renewable energy sources, right? But in some regions, there isn't that. So there will be a regional disparity that will be created. So that's my point for carbon taxation. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I get it, but the intent of putting carbon taxation in Canada, it is basically to stimulate the innovation by encouraging the development and use of low carbon technologies for Canadian businesses. And currently, in most provinces, there is an output-based carbon pricing system, which uh, typically means that the large industries only pay the carbon tax on the last like 10 to 20% of their emissions. And this system is designed to alleviate the financial burden on industries while still promoting reductions in the emissions. And the lower emitter firms pay less and incentivizing them to maintain their low emission levels, while higher emitting pay firms pay more and pushing them to innovate and adopt cleaner technologies to reduce their overall emissions. And this approach is mainly to balance the need for economic competitiveness with the goal of significant carbon reductions, fostering an environment where businesses are motivated to develop and use low carbon solutions.
Anamika, I still understood your point, but then it comes back to my first point. Then where will the production go? There are so many other policies that are contributing for the same cause, right? And Canada is the place where I guess renewable resources and everything are kept in mind. Environment and sustainability are key points in Canada. But definitely, we all have our own opinions and we all have different statistics to prove the points that we have. So, in conclusion, we can only say that carbon tax isn't a good tax or a bad tax. And the decision that government takes at macroeconomic levels always has implications on the production and consumption as well. It always will result into something which has a positive effect or a negative effect. So whatever decisions that the government takes is based on the situations in the economy, the real aspects of the economy, and all these decisions are taken on the basis of necessities in the economy. So I guess we all concluded well, and thank you so much for everyone to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm stopping the recording now.